Hey, here we are again. It is season 2, episode 3 of Let's Talk Phys Ed. Let's Talk Phys Ed is a show where we get to know some of the most influential people in the world of physical education. And I am your host, Jason Steele, and with me, as always, Tanner Rose.
Hey, everybody. So I noticed on Twitter this week, Tammy Doppler and Alex Adams were wearing their I Tweet PE shirts. Do you guys see that? Anyway, if you want to support I Tweet PE, this is going to be a cause that's going to affect people who've been in maybe a natural disaster or something, or an unfortunate event. And I Tweet PE is going to support them by giving them some type of phys ed equipment so they can get back on their feet. So if you want to support them, go to itweetpe.org.
Thank you. And so we're gonna talk phys ed now. We're gonna talk a little phys ed and more. With us this morning, which is new for us. This is the first time we've recorded in the morning. We've always been a night crew. We're gonna go in the morning today. But with us today is our Open National trainer, Jim DeLine from Austin, Texas. Jim, how are you?
Great, man. Fantastic.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
What's that?
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
What would you like to know? Well, I teach at Highland Park Elementary School in Austin, Texas. I am in my 33rd or 34th year of teaching. And first, just let me say thank you for having me. I mean, I just really appreciate the fact that you guys are out there doing what is possible to help teachers, help kids. It really is a tribute to the both of you, to wake up and accommodate an old man's schedule early in the morning. I really, really appreciate it and really admire the work that you guys do and really admire the passion and effort that you put forth with it. So kudos to you, and it's a true privilege and honor to be on your show with you. I teach at Highland Park Elementary School. We have about 653 kids from kindergarten to 5th grade. It's my 11th year at that particular school. I have, over the course of my career, worked with the University of Texas Health Science Center on the research side of what we do. I've worked with some physical education companies on the business side of what we do. I've worked in some very low-income schools when I was first started teaching way back in the 80s and 90s, before you guys were probably born. I started teaching, right, when socks came up to your knees and shorts were short shorts, right? Now it's the other way around. Yeah. So, I feel like, I'm in the right spot doing the right thing at the right time, and super proud of the work that we've done at Open and the 3.5, 4 years that we've managed to really stay true to our mission and stay in our lane of helping teachers help kids, right? So super excited about that.
Awesome. Yeah, and teachers helping teachers seems to kind of be the theme with you guys at Open. I know this past week I had the opportunity to meet Tom Strenger, and I got to see Brian DeVore again for the second time, and fantastic guys. It was awesome to talk with them and break bread with them, I guess, and
right on,
and hang out a little bit. So fantastic company. So
you guys do great work.
You've been a leader and an influencer in the phys ed world for a while now. I'm curious if you who it was that maybe you looked up to earlier in your career that kind of drove you to how you teach and what you do and what you believe. Is there somebody that really stands out?
I'm glad you asked that question, because, you call me a leader and someone that inspires. We are truly a collection of the people that we surround ourselves with, right? I mean, we are a collection of the greatness that we are lucky and blessed with to be a part of, as you said, break bread with, have a beer with, drink a cup of coffee with, sit someplace and just doodle on napkins with. And I am so fortunate and lucky that I've been able to surround myself with incredible people doing incredible things for kids, you guys included. And early on, I look up to people. Later on in the twilight of my career, I still look up to people. Right? Early on, those people were the Dolly Lambdens of the world. They were the George Grahams of the world, the Artie Camillas of the world, the Larry McDonalds of the world, Jim Rich, guys out in North Carolina. That I got a man who's now no longer with us, Ambrose Brazelton, who wrote poems about physical education that really inspired the heart, right? Wow. And these are people that made you want to be better and made you want to do. It pushed you along the way, right? Gave you a kick in the butt when you need it and gave you encouragement when you need it. And to this day, those people are the Kurt Stones of the world, the Aaron Harts of the world, the Brian DeVores of the world. It's amazing how we have such a great collection of people and a family of people that will, hold you accountable for what you're doing, teach you new things. I mean, you can teach an old dog new tricks. You just got to make sure they're not slobbering, right? And that's why I love surrounding myself with folks like you guys, because it just helps me to be a better person and a better teacher. So it's not just one particular person. It is truly a collection of the greatness that we have in our profession and the people that are out there really trying to make everybody better in an unselfish way too,
That's right. So speaking of unselfish ways, you have been showing us pictures of Riley and videos of Riley. One of my favorite things that's going on Twitter right now is your relationship with Riley, one of your students. Can you tell us about
that? My next book is going to be called Lunches in Little Chairs. And it's going to be about what we learn from kids if we're willing to sit down at their level, be it at their reading table in their classroom or in the lunchroom. I mean, I try to eat lunch with our kindergarten, first and second grade kids, because that just overlaps with mine as much as I can. When you look at Riley and you look at what she's having to go through, not just her, but her older sister and her family, and when I think back personally, what's the biggest struggle of my life? It's nothing in comparison to an 8-year-old fighting for their life, right? So I'm just going to preface this with saying coaches don't cry. We just sweat out our eyeballs. So this is it's a challenging topic. She has leukemia. She's had a bone marrow transplant and is surviving. And it's been a 2-year process now. When an 8-year-old kid comes up and says, for my birthday, I want to shave your head. I mean, what do you say to that?
You shave your head.
Yeah, it's not if, it's when, right? And do you mind if I invite some friends? Honey, I don't care if you invite the whole world. This helps you. Let's get it done. So, now it's she's become an integral part of our community, not just a part of my life, but she's been able to inspire just the whole community, right? And she's just taken this on. And when you look at that and you want to define what courage is, what perseverance is, what leadership is, what inspiration is, all the central themes of your show, and you can look at that and get that out of an 8-year-old, it's truly humbling, and we've had fun with it, actually. I mean, it's not that it's, girl fighting for her life, but I don't know if you've seen, there was a recent tweet where she actually came in, her friends were carrying her on the computer. We were FaceTiming PE.
Yeah, I love that. That was great.
So awesome.
Is that ridiculously cool or what? And there she is. And so her dad even sent me a video that he had taken from behind her, watching, doing all the push-ups, jogging in place, doing everything that we're doing. He goes, this is what your PE class looks like from our end.
I mean,
I know, right?
They have long sleeves on right now. You can see the hairstyle.
I'm telling you, man, we should all just stop and hug, right? Because I mean, it really puts things in perspective for just as you as dads and you as husbands, and me as a dad, and me as a husband, and really really speaks to what we do as physical education teachers. Really speaks to what we collectively, the impact that we have on kids. I mean, it goes beyond teaching kids to dribble or turn a cartwheel or something like that. It just dives deep into the reasons why we got into this profession, and that's have a lasting impact on the people that we can influence.
Well, we're really proud to have you, support her in that way, and then to share that with us, because it just makes us all feel so much better, and it makes us realize that we can do some of these things for our children and our schools.
And you know what? If you are already, you may not know it. I mean, but there will come a time. I mean, it's just, I think part of the nature of, being in this business for 30 years is that there are going to be some real life challenges ahead, and knowing that, that you can have an impact on those, I think is an important part of what we do and what we need to remember.
Well put. So a little bit on the lighter side now. So you're from Austin, Texas, so I'm sure you're familiar with the phrase "keep Austin weird."
Right. I invented that.
You invented it. Well, then that's perfect, because the basis of this question is we want to know what you do to keep Austin weird. So how are you keeping Austin weird?
Wow.
And remember, it is kind of there may be some kids watching from time to time.
Hello, children. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Don't do anything that your mom and dad don't let you do. And remember, I'm a trained professional. Don't try this at home. You know, I'm born and raised here, and I should have an endangered species tag around my ear, right? I really should, man. I mean, with a little toll tag in it, that's automatic. I should be able to park wherever I want. You know, I should be able to take the express lanes without having to pay for it. I mean, seriously. Austin has changed completely since I have been a kid, and people, I think, contrive weird now, right? They try to make it weird when it really is just, it was the way that we were.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know, man. Austin has a zip code, 78704, which donates more money to National Public Radio than any other zip code, I think, in the country, or at least it did. So, you know, when you get a collection of people on the left, people on the right, a university that's got 50,000 students, a legislator that, you know, a state legislator that can't make decisions, right? But they meet every 2 years to argue. A vibrant music scene, a vibrant art scene. I mean, you got a clash of, well, not a clash, but a mosaic of culture, right? And so I think just weirdness kind of seeps out of that. What do I do personally?
Yeah.
What do I, man, I'm an old man. I go to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. I wake up at 5, go have breakfast with my buddies, right? What do I do other than go out and listen to music, go out and watch the bats, right? That's not weird though. That's popular now. So,
yeah. Okay.
I don't really have a solid answer to that, man.
Hey, good enough for me.
All right. Well, I happen to have seen your wall in the room, and I just put it up here on the screen. Can you tell us about your Scotty Strong wall?
There it is.
Amazing.
Okay. Wow. That's like the coolest mural in the world, isn't it?
That is
Absolutely.
so awesome.
Yeah, it is just ridiculously awesome. So how do you want me to start? I mean, the history of it?
Yeah, well, you can tell us how it started.
Okay.
You can tell us what some of the characters
Yeah, so
are.
all of these characters starting from the left, can you see my cursor? Or
I
No.
don't know.
all right, so starting from the left at the PE pharmacy, that's Captain Cranky. Moving to the right, there's Sheriff Lazybones. Above the Scotty on the wall, that's Sergeant Sunburn. There's the Angry Banana, the Fat Cats. And underneath the arc is Princess Peer Pressure. The guy upside down, that's No Helmet Henry. Over the inn in Strong is Jumping Jack. And over in the bottom right-hand corner is Couch Potato au Raton, right? All of these became stories that many, many years ago, I would just tell the kids. I mean, I would start telling the story about Sheriff Lazybones, for example, because we had to learn bones, right? It was part of one of our outcomes. We had to teach the kid bones. So instead of just saying, here's your humerus, here's your fibula, I would tell a story about Sheriff Lazybones coming to the school and shutting down the school because he didn't want anybody to move, right? He was too lazy to move, and he would enact laws that there was no physical activity in the school, but we had a brave group of fifth graders called the PE posse, and we'd have a showdown at the Bone Cake Corral to run them out of town, right? So all of these, you know, Couch Potato au Raton was born a tater tot in France, and what do all tater tots want to become when they grow up? Of course, and if you don't get picked to be a French fry, right, you sit on the couch all day and plot your revenge. Well, the problem was he ate all of the other potatoes, never moved his muscles, and now, right? So Princess Peer Pressure, she has 3 evil superhero powers. They are double dog dare you. I double dog dare. It's cool. And chicken. And that's why she's got chickens right there.
This is awesome.
Well, Princess Peer Pressure for K through 2. And all these had stories. And these stories were, you know, linked to games that we're about to play, which turned into outcomes. Learn our muscles, learn about smoking, learn about physical inactivity, learn about sun safety, learn about eating right? But all of these characters, K through 2, have stories behind it. But when they get to 3 through 5, it's science. They're the physical. I mean, they are the 7 risk factors of cardiovascular disease. Princess Peer Pressure now becomes a science topic about why you shouldn't smoke. Right. The Fat Cats now become a science conversation about poor nutrition. Right, and it's all linked to, you know, the 7 risk factors for cardiovascular disease. No Helmet Henry right there. Accidental deaths, not wearing your seatbelt, not wearing your helmet.
Right.
Okay. And then the one that finally about 3rd and 4th, 5th grade, look over here at the saloon doors. Mm-hmm. Right. You can only see the boots and you can only see the fingers. That's stuff that mom and dad have to talk to you about.
Oh,
Right?
Nice. Good
Sex
touch.
and drugs. Right? That's a conversation you have to have with mom and dad, because coach isn't going to have that conversation with you. And then within the mural itself, there are all sorts of little kind of Easter egg things. Like I tell the kids, find the 12 baseballs up there, right? And this turtle down in the bottom right-hand corner, the artist just put that in because he had a pet turtle, but the kids will ask me. So now it's a conversation. It's a story starter. The little green guys down in the very bottom, those are the quarry gremlins. Austin, our school had the first limestone quarry in 1950. And so we've got this beautiful outside space. It's beautiful. It's like this bowl, right? And it's so quiet and so peaceful down there. And that's where we go do our outside activities. But I tell the kids that there's little quarry gremlins that will take your shoes or take your stuff if you leave them around. And so it's become a whole story in and of itself.
Oh.
But the beauty of this is, guys, is that, maybe 3 years ago, you can see at the top of the mural, there's windows. That wall used to be nothing but windows. And so we had some renovations done. And on the other side of that wall, they put a hallway in. And they weren't able to attach the hallway to windows, so they had to reconstruct the entire wall, which wasn't in the original plans, of course. So I come in one weekend, and they had taken down my wall and put in a temporary wall, a plywood wall that didn't even go up to the ceiling, right? And they had put it in about, a third of the way into the gym. So I've got 13 meters across my gym. Now it's a 10-meter gym. So it's small, and it became smaller. And you could smell the plywood, man, as you walked in. It was just like, what the heck's going on? Sorry, kids. What the heck's going on?
We'll edit that later.
Thank you. And we've got this plywood, right? And you could smell it as you come in, and nobody told me it was going to be there. And I was hot. I mean, I was just livid. And the fifth graders came in and looked at it and said, "That is so cool." "What do you mean that's cool? Can we paint it?" I said, "Well, I don't have any paint." One kid said, "How about chalk?" Right? And so we went and got chalk from the art teachers, and it became a project, come in and paint stuff. And I've got the original pictures, but the kids themselves painted Sheriff Lazy Bones and Couch Potato just out of the images, right? And the stories that we told,
right?
And then now we had this beautiful hand chalked mural that the kids had done, right? And parents thought it was so cool that I let them do this, and so cool that they started walking in droves just to look at our art project that we had. Like it was novel to them. And then one dad said, "Look, I'd like to paint a mural. And, all I need is materials." And so we paid him about $1,500. I've been told it's, if you got a professional artist, it's like super expensive to do something like that. But, he just came in at night and worked with me and painted the mural. Right?
Yeah, my brother does that. He paints gyms, and he doesn't get paid just $1,500. So you got a good deal.
No, I know we did, but he was, he was a parent that had just seen kind of the work that we did and wanted to kind of maybe start doing this in other areas around the city. Here's my Keep Austin Weird right there.
That
All
is
right.
we're tying the two questions together.
Nice job.
Got it. That's
right.
I've seen that picture, and I just thought it was a really cool mural, but to hear the story behind it is pretty cool also. So you're a national presenter. Can you talk to us just a little bit about, as you travel around the country and you present and you see other people present, what is one of the presentations that you've been to recently that you found just inspiring? Just you had an aha moment, or that really played a key role in how you did something different in your classroom?
Oh, man. I cannot remember the dude's name. Oh, there was one. Gosh.
I mean, listen, you weren't at my Twitter presentation in Sioux Falls. I understand that.
Where was your Twitter presentation?
It was in Sioux Falls. It was awesome. Tanner was there.
Yeah.
Standing room only. So.
That happens when you're in a small room, man.
Well, there was no chairs.
Okay, there you go. Man, you guys are putting me on the spot, because there was a Teacher of the Year in Missouri that I saw that I really, really, really liked. And then there was in Stillwater, Minnesota. Tanner, maybe you can help me with this.
Was it Spring? Randy Spring?
Yeah, the bald head kid.
Yeah, Randy Spring.
Yeah, man, just lit me up. and I cannot remember the dude in Missouri. I wish I remembered his name, but I have all his materials and all of his slides, and yeah, just really, and I really admire anybody that gets out and presents. I mean, it's, teaching is courageous anyway, right? Teachers don't teach pedagogically. They don't teach systematically. And if they do and they're good, fantastic. But if you don't teach from the heart, if you don't have the courage to teach, because what you're really doing is revealing who you are,
right,
and the insides of what your heart is, and you're doing that with your kids, to get out there in front of peers, to get out there in front of colleagues, to get out there. Anybody that goes out and presents and anybody that's putting themselves out there is to be admired. Right? I don't go into presentation saying that person's bad, or I just don't, because I understand what goes into it. And I understand. Now, have you had a bad presentation? Yeah. Did it go not the way you wanted to? Sure. But what you're going to do the next time is go out is the same thing you do when one kindergarten class is bad and the next one's coming right in. You're going to fix it and try to get better.
Yep. That's right. Absolutely.
And that's so, right. Anytime I see Andy Pickett, for example, Mike Smith, any of our open national trainers, every time I see those gentlemen and ladies present, I'm just always blown away. Shannon Millay, every time I see them, I keep thinking, hey, I'm a national presenter, but really I'm the weak link in the whole open chain. They are. We got lots and lots and lots of great people doing lots and lots of great things.
Yeah. Speaking of great things, at the open session I went to in Stillwater, you showed us the level 1, 2, and 3 dance, and I think Jason needs to know about.
Oh, he does?
Do level 1, 2, and 3. Can you show us? And
Jason, I can. Only if Jason gets out of his chair and joins us.
I was afraid that this was going to happen. I cannot get out of my chair right now. I have.
Well, okay, man. You can do it. You can do the chair dance, man. We can adapt, adopt, and modify. This is
I'll do the chair dance.
We got kids on crutches and in wheelchairs and in casts that can do that kind of stuff, right? So the whole concept behind the victory dances, Jason. Yeah, get warmed up, man.
I'm listening.
The whole thing about that is that we're going to celebrate levels of success, right?
Perfect.
Kids learn in levels, and we want them to understand that we're going to scaffold this, and that we're going to celebrate little successes. On the back end of it, it helps you to kind of make your teaching instruction more succinct, right? So that you don't give a whole bunch of information. So every time we get to a level, we'll celebrate it. The level 1 victory dance goes like this: I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with level 1. Your turn.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with level 1.
Yeah, a little bit more of this and that. Okay, we got all right.
More shoulder.
Now I'm through. I'm through with level 2.
I'm through. I'm through.
There you go.
I'm through with level 2.
Dude, that was so awesome. All right.
Was that good?
Okay. Not me at level 3.
I was still.
You were still
worried about level 2. Can you show me again?
Not me at level 3.
Not me. Not me. Not me at level 3.
Dude, I tell you what, that's awesome.
Love it.
So
fantastic, man.
Real quick, we're running out of time, Jim. That you kind of put me on the spot. We're running out of time, but I wish we could go longer. This is, I don't think we've ever talked to anybody. We've talked to some amazing people on the show, and I don't think any of them have had the passion that you've had for education, for students, for teaching, for all of it. And so we really appreciate that. We've got one more question for you. And then we're going to get going. So what we like to do this season, what we're kind of doing is we're allowing everybody to kind of tell one really funny story about what happened at some point in their teaching career. It can be something with students or something with teachers or something that they did. Can you throw one out to us for in a minute? Your most favorite funny story. I don't know if I said that right. I'm not a broadcast major. We'll edit it again in post-op, but.
Sure. I got I'm going to tell you 2 real quick.
Okay.
I got a poem my first year of teaching in 1985 from a 2nd grade girl, because we've been talking about healthy foods, and she wrote this poem: apples, bananas, peaches, a pear. with a face like yours, you're lucky I care. Right? Lakeisha in second grade. And then the other one was there was a bunch of kindergartners lined up, same year. And there's this boy named Albert, right? He's in the front of the line and he looks up at me and he goes, "Coach, your ears look like a werewolf." And the boy behind him hit him in the back and goes, "You fool." He turned around, Albert just said, "Who you calling a fool?" "I'm calling you a fool, fool. His ears don't look like a werewolf. They look like an elf." And Albert turned around and then looked at me and looked up and said, "Man, I'm sorry, Coach. He's right. Your ears look like an elf."
So I've always said this, and I've said this since I started teaching, and I don't know why I haven't started writing some of these things down, but I've always thought that as a teacher in general, but especially as a physical education teacher, because you see all students and your classroom is set up so differently than others that we have so many different things happen. It would be hilarious to have a book of funny physical education happenings, right? So now I have an idea, and we might have to work on this together, guys, but maybe we work as a trio here and we write that book.
Maybe we do that.
The wisdom of Jim. And
I think that'd be awesome. You know, one of the best workshops I ever went to had nothing to do with teaching. It had to do with storytelling. I went to a storytelling convention, you know, and that's what we are. We're storytellers. And when you write down these little things that happen to you throughout the course of the day, it just helps you create a tapestry, right, that you can tell stories about. And it makes things relatable, not only to the kids, but to other people. And I think it's one of the things that enriches our teaching more than anything. And jotting these things down is a fantastic idea. I'm all on board.
All right. Well, we'll definitely be asking for that. Hey, how can we connect with you? We're about ready to leave, and I want people to be able to see you, maybe email you or whatever they need to do, connect on Twitter or other social media. How can people connect with you?
Jim DeLine at yahoo.com, email. At Jim's Jim, JIMSGYM, Texas, TX, is my Twitter handle. And if you search for me on YouTube, I have a small YouTube channel with some of the videos that I put out. Nothing extensive, but a dozen, and trying to add to that.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Well, I hope people go and check him out. Jim is fantastic, as you guys can tell.
Absolutely. So passionate, so well-spoken. And speaking of well-spoken, we have to bounce out of here. Our time is up. So now's the time where we play some cheesy exit music for you, Jim.
Well, before you go, thank you very much. And for you guys, as long as I have a biscuit, you'll get half, okay?
I love that. And I've used it a couple times since you said it. People love it. And I always give credit to Jim DeLine.
I appreciate it.
Jim DeLine.
Thank you for coming, buddy. This is awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Jim. Until next time, everybody, let's talk phys ed.